at Lake Martin, wrapping up practice here at Lake Martin, getting ready to start the tournament. But what I wanted to go over was my recap for Lake Guntersville. We'll go through the tournament days, the practice, what I caught them on, how I caught them. Did not have the best finish there. Ended up finishing in 70th place. But I did catch some fish and figure a couple of things out throughout the event that I'd like to share with you guys, and exclusively some of the baits that I caught them on as well. So as far as practice goes, it really wasn't great for me either. We had extreme cold conditions. Day one of practice was absolutely brutal. Thank gosh I was wearing my whitewater stuff, the insulated suit. I had all sorts of heated socks on and things like that, the merino wool gloves. You name it, I had it on that week, and it kept me warm on the water. The biggest issue was just keeping ice out of your guides and things like that. That was the biggest pain. The fishing part of it was fine. We ice fish and that stuff all the time at home, so that was fine. But yeah, keeping the ice out of the guides was a pain, especially even in the tournament. Day one of the tournament, we had ice in the guides till about 10:30 or 11 o'clock, which made for absolutely brutal fishing. You had to re-spool all your rods every day you got in, even sometimes from practice, because your line would just be that shot from casting all day long. The MVP of the week was the Strike King hardliner in a color called Baby Carp. As you can see here, this thing is absolutely chewed up. The first day of the event was pretty good with this bait in specific. I probably caught 20 or 25 keepers on this bait that first day of the tournament. Granted, they weren't huge. I ended up weighing, I believe, around 17.5 pounds. And the whole deal for this hardliner during that first day and exclusively throughout the entire tournament was keying in on grass lines. Specifically, transitions from about 2 to 4 feet were key for me. If you were in 5 or 6 feet, it seemed to be a little bit too deep, but if you were in 1 to 2, it was too shallow. There was a kind of a sweet spot where you had to keep this hardliner in that zone and just cover a lot of water. For example, I had a couple of sections that were probably 100 or 200 yards long that I'd go back and forth on that had better grass, better hydrilla, things like that mixed in. Some of the places I fished were exclusively just eelgrass, and some of them were exclusively just hydrilla. Again, I didn't have the best tournament, finished up in 70th place, but the hardliner caught me a lot of fish on day number one. Now, day number two, I go back to those same areas with the hardliner, and catch plenty of fish again. I actually catch my limit in about an hour on day two, and I thought it was going to be lights out for the entire day, and things absolutely turned to 180 on me. It began to be very hard to even get a bite on that day number two. I ran a variety of different areas. I tried to change things up, but it was too little too late. They were still biting the hardliner that morning, but I just never made the key adjustments throughout the day to catch that better than average size fish in the area that I was fishing. There was some big fish still caught where I was fishing. Saw plenty of big fish caught. It just wasn't my week to land that big one in the tournament. To combat that cold weather that week at Guntersville, the whitewater heated vest was really key for me. I actually put that heated vest on first. I put it actually underneath my sweatshirt that I was wearing. The Beacon hoodie from Whitewater as well. So, that layer combined with the Beacon hoodie, and then combined with, I'd also put the thermocline on, and then the insulated jacket on top of that, made for some extra warmth out there on the water. So, setup for the hardliner. I was throwing number 6 Gamakatsu round bend treble hooks, Lew's Tournament Pro, paired with the Lew's Elite Series 7'2" medium fast. And for my line, I was actually fishing a little bit heavier line. I was actually using Seagar and VizX 15-pound. Bigger fish, especially with those ice in the guides as well. I felt like I could get away with a little bit, higher poundage of line, so I didn't have breakoffs and things like that. And I was also fishing very shallow. So just a great week out on Lake Guntersville. Unfortunately, not the finish that I had hoped for, a 70th place finish. We learned a lot. We caught a lot of bass on the new Strike King hardliner, which was really cool. Something that I haven't really done. And here we are at Lake Martin. Hopefully gonna have a good tournament here and get things back on track.